Welcome to Zenith Tutorial Center. My name is Babajide Oluwasuna Oluwasola. I'll be taking case study. So today we are doing the introduction to case study, and I want you to patiently listen to all this information I'll be giving you for free, and make sure you react on it, and make sure you bring out your pen and jot something down. And it's going to be important for you so that you go through it after the lecture today. So, and also this video will also reflect to our YouTube channel, Zenith Tutorial. So go there, watch it, and make sure you react on it. Turn on the notification, subscribe so that anytime we post another video, you will be able to be aware of the new video. And make sure you share these videos to other students that will benefit from this. And also share our group WhatsApp. Everything is under this video. So under this channel, everything is there. Make sure you go there. Okay, today, so I'm sharing my screen. So the introduction to case study. This material is available on Seller. So you can go to my Seller account and get this material. It's only for 1,580. There is no more. So now, and this guide is starts how to decode ICAN Case Study requirements and write examinable approved report. So I'm going to give you a lot of things that even when you read through and go through other reports I have prepared, you will go into the exam with confidence, so without fear, and when you pass it. So now let's start. The objective of case study. The objective of case study. What is the objective of case study? Good. Now, before I move to that objective of case study, now let me do a bit introduction of this ICAN case study, especially this guide. So, ICAN Professional Case Study Success Bonding. That is, I tag this process bonding. Why? Because it's very straightforward. When you read it, it's very straightforward for you so that you're able to get what you want to get once and for all. The ICAN Professional Case Study Examination is not a test of theoretical knowledge alone. So some people thought they can read and read and read and read. That is why many students have their feedback have received. They have read the past, the case study past, and they said they can't find anything. It's not about reading. You have been reading the foundation skill, even professional, but this one is to what to practicalize what you have gained upon many years ago. So it is primarily an assessment of a candidate's ability to interpret requirements. So you must be able to interpret what the requirement is, apply professional judgment, and communicate clearly in report format. So all this one is what I have done for you. I've already prepared everything, even to the extent that I prepared solution to all these, most of all these pathfinder. You know, when you test the pathfinder, case study pathfinder, you can't see the report there. So I've tried as much as possible to prepare at least 4 years diet. 4 years diet solution. So it just, I think that one is just for 1,620. So you can get it on Seller as well. So it's just for 1,620. So I've prepared it, so and it's very detailed. So with more explanation. Then evidence from examiner reports over several days shows that many candidates fail this paper, not because they lack technical knowledge. You see now, it's not that you fail that particular exam. It not means that you don't know what you are doing. You don't know that you don't even know anything at all. No, but they lack technical knowledge. But because they misinterpret the examination requirement, they misinterpret it. And when you misinterpret something, because I used to tell every one of my students that there are some things that the examiner are looking for in your report. And the moment they didn't see it, so you didn't convince them. That's what it is. And then at the end of the day, you eventually fail it. So fail to address all parts of the question. So you fail to have part of the question. So that means it will be able to what to failure. Then write lengthy explanation without focus. So some people thought, I will write. You need to write. I can write. I can. No, it's not all about case study. It's not all about writing. It's not all about writing a lot of explanation. So when you write without focus, you eventually fail that particular case study. That ignore professional report structure required at a professional level. So also, some students don't follow this. I used to tell students that there are some report structure that ICANs are what are expected from every professional level. So when you don't follow it, when you ignore it, so meaning that for you to pass, you might not be able to be possible. These guys has been designed to address these weaknesses directly. So we address it. So that's what this guide all about. We address all the weakness of every student. Then the focus this material. The focus of this material is how to answer ICAN professional case study questions in the manner expected by the examiner. So that is that. So now the purpose of this, that so I'm telling you all this, I'm doing all this so that you know the type of the material you are getting. You are not just getting anyhow material. It's not like the test, it's not like the pack that case study that I can prepare. No, this one, I got the feedback from students. I look at so how can I help in the in that angle. So because for over decades now I've been lecturing case study. I had a lot of the complaints of students about the case study. I have been delaying them in qualifying. So that is why I come out with this particular bond so that it can help you to go once and for all in one sitting, passing once and for all. Then the purpose of this guide is to train candidates to decode case study requirements accurately, demonstrate how to respond to examiner verbs such as review, evaluation, evaluate, advise, and respond. So there are verbs that the examiner used to use, but because students don't are aware of all the, even though they see it, but they don't know that it's really have important, it's very important for them to take notice of it. So I also explain when you see review, what it means. When you see evaluation, what does it mean? When you see advice, what does it mean? When you see recommend, what does it mean? How will you do it? How will you treat it? So that is all what I've done in this particular bonding. So the correct professional report structure required at professional level. So the correct professional report structure required at the professional level. So illustrate how to use explanation, notes to financial statement to enhance maps. So then provide a practical time management framework for the case study examination. So it's also going to help you to manage your time. So I put some things there for you so that when you do this, so you will be able to come out in flight color. This is an exam focus guide, not a textbook. Who this one, who these guys is for? So who is this for? It's for ICAN professional level candidates. We see whether you are receiving for that exam. It's also for you. Candidate who understand the syllabus but struggle with case study reports. Right. So I've told you about a story of a particular stockbroker who met me many years ago and said that despite I know how to write body videos, but it keeps failing. So that is for them also. It's for everybody who is writing case study, who has been struggling to pass this. So this guide is for them. So this guide is not suitable for foundation or skill level. So this guide is not for foundation. It's not for skill. So the other side, so it's for professional level students. So that is it. So if you are still in skill, so meaning that you can just, what I always tell you is that you can keep this video, get the material, so that whenever you get to professional level, you'll be able to apply it to your own case study when you want to write the exam. So I also do not forget to save my contact. Also, do not forget to save my contact. In case, if you have any issue, just chat me on WhatsApp. Chat me on WhatsApp, so I will respond to you as early as possible. I will respond to you as early as possible. Now let's move. Let's deep this into case study part now. So I'm really happy with you that you are able to make and watching this at this moment. So I'm very happy with you. Now, this is section A. Core skill required to pass the ICAN case study examination. Please, if you are not dealing with your pen, try come up. Get your pen, get your book, because I'll be telling you something that you need to write down. So, and it's very, very important for you to take notice of it so that when at the end of the day, when you watch this video, you'll be able to come on it and we act on it. Now, what ICAN professional case study really says? Objectives of case study. The objectives of case study is to assess candidate understanding of more complex interrelated business issues. Now, the objective of case study is to assess every student, to assess them, every student. How are you able to what? Understand this more complex interrelated business issues? You know, what ICAN is going to test is business. So it's business issues. So what has happened before is what they are testing students. It's not that they are just forming the case study. No, it's a particular company that has issues before. Then they are testing their knowledge of their students. How will they deal with it in a real life scenario? Then the ability to analyze financial and non-financial data. You see now, the ability to analyze financial and non-financial data. So some students thought that, oh, because I will only be dealing with financial. No, some also thought that, so you are not good in financial, you know, good in non-financial. You want to go by that financial. So both, they are testing the two. So they want to know how were you able to calculate very well. Then with your calculation, how will you be able to interpret it? Exercise judgment on that your calculation. What do you see? What do you discover? Then exercise judgment and your opinion and develop conclusion and recommendation. So you develop conclusion, you conclude on what you have done. You conclude on it. So you conclude on what you have done and make recommendation on it. Then each case study is based on real life situation. That's what I just mentioned, a real life situation, and generally center on a request for advice or assistance from either your client or your boss. So that is when what the type of report you are going to know the type of report you are going to write. It's very important. So whether you are writing for your client or you are writing for your boss, so you need to know so that you know the type of tones you are going to use in that writing of your report. The examination requirement will involve evaluation. You see now, that is part of the thing we are going to deal with. Evaluation and practical discussion on current commercial issues. Practical this. You see, you want it to practicalize all what you have done in foundation skill, even in the professional. That is why they are putting case study exam at the last day of the exam. So they want you to practicalize everything in practical way. Even if you are a working class people, so you also practical. So all the experience that you have gained during your work in your workplace, so it's very valuable. How do you deal with issues? How will you attend to the issue? How do you report to the management? They are relevant here. So that is why I'm giving us from my own experience and the experience of many of my years of experience in lecturing. So I'm able to gather all these things together and give you the best. You must able to identify the key issue. So one of the main things you must know is that how can I identify issue? What are the issues? So I am going to tell you also when we are talking about issue. Because if there is no issue, there will not be anything like a case study. So it's because there is an issue, that is why you are able to have a requirement and the examiner is able to test your knowledge on that. Therefore, the case study, this, that is, you must understand and deal with the requirement of the case study in your report. That means when you understand, you are able to identify those issues, then you will be able to watch, so come out, so deal with the requirements. You identify the issue, then you deal with the requirement. Then what are the skills that you need to that you need to have for you to pass this particular case study. So you take note of this case, very, very important for you. Take notes. So take notes. So if you have any questions over, just make sure you message me. If you are watching this video, make sure you message me, then I will answer you. The skills required to be successful in the case study examination. One, identification of business, technical and ethical issue. Identification of business, technical and ethical issue. What does it mean? So what it means is that the moment you see case given to you, even from the within, you must be able to identify which type of business it is, how technicality is it, then what are the ethical issues surrounding this type of business. Do you see how I break it down? Which type of business is this? How technicality does this type of industry is? Then what are the ethical issues surrounding this type of industry? So all these questions, these three types of questions I just asked you, there are some things for you in your case study. He has give you some highlights. Because when you understand the type of business, you will know whether it's a type of business that is very capital intensive. So when you check their financial statement and you are seeing that they are going into a lot of borrowing, so you will know how to deal with it. So, but when it's a type of business that they don't give it, they don't need more capital to start up, and you are now seeing that the company are involving in getting more loans from bank. So it could lead, which could lead to what going concern. Do you see what I've done? That is why all those three questions I just asked is very, very important for you to ask yourself that same thing. So as you're asking yourself, you are jotting at the back of your answer script. You are jotting it somewhere. Okay, this is cement industry. How technicality it is. So is it technical? The expertise, you need the expertise to operate. That means you need to get people from above, meaning that the personnel cost will be increased. So when I'm seeing the personnel cost in the financial statement, I will not be bothered. Then what are the ethical issues? If they then need to settle some government officials and the other things, so what are those things? So I have already, I've not read it, but I begin to crack my brain what I should do and what I should see in that case study. So if I'm not seeing all these things, so I need to now raise some professional skepticism. Then the second requirement, the second skill that you need to have is what? Applications of technical knowledge. Applications of technical knowledge to identify issues in the scenario. So you need to apply your technical knowledge, how to identify issues, how you able to identify. So those technical knowledge that you have, how do you know when you are reading something and this is the issue? You see profit goes up. You see profits revenue decline. And so that is an issue. You also see a cost. Revenue decline, cost goes up. So there are what? There are issues. There are issues. Unethical things, there are also issues. So window creating accounting. Saying you are reading the creating accounting in the narrative form of that report, there are issues that need to be addressed by the management. So you need to work to address those issues, what in the case scenario. Then understanding of the business situation. You need to understand the business situation. That is where it's located in its life cycle. Where it's located. Is it which type of business are you dealing with? Is it startup business, transition business, maturity business, or decline business? Why is it important for you to identify all these situations? Is because the way you are, if the ICAN is giving you a startup business, the way you will treat it is going to be different from the business that is going to decline stage already. So, or if they are giving you a majority business, the way you will deal with it is going to be different from the way you treat startup business. That is why we look out for the experience of the industry, of the company. With how many years of experience of that company? If it is just 1 year, so we don't expect them to win the market within 1 year. So if we are seeing some losses or some introductory costs, so it's understandable. But at the maturity stage, I didn't expect to see all this introductory costs. So if I'm saying it's cost for questions. So these are the what? The things, that's why you need to understand the type of the situation that the case study that you are dealing with, the situation that it belongs, whether it's a startup, transition maturity, or decline stage. Then the fourth skill that you also need to get is what? Understanding of business scenario and wider issues. Understanding of business. Understanding that business itself. That business that the ICAN is testing. Understanding it. That is why they are giving you pre-seen. So meaning that when you get that pre-seen, research on that business given, that industry given to you, read about it. Know the technical know-hows in that particular industry. Then what are the wider issues? So when you're talking about the wider issues says that what happened to company A, company B, company C in that same industry? What peculiar, what common things happen to them? That is the wider issue. What common things happen to them? So meaning that if I'm seeing, let's say for example, Buak cement industry making profit, then I must also see Dangote making profit. I must also see Laval making profit. That is what it's saying. That's a wider case. But also, it could be negative, it could be positive. Because when you're talking about wider content, wider issues could be negative or could be what? Could be positive. If it could be positive in terms of making profit, it could be negative in terms of what? Making losses. So you need to understand what are the peculiar things happen to that main companies in that same industry. Then selections of, that's another skill that you need to also get, selection of appropriate tool for analysis. Selection of appropriate tool for analysis. Selection of appropriate tools for analysis. So what are the tools? I used to ask most of my students, I said, carpenter has tools, doctor has tools, we accountants also have tools. So you must understand these tools. So part of our tools are what? Financial statement, ratio, common size. So there are tools to analyze financials. So you need to understand it. Select it appropriately. Which one fits this situation? Which one fits this upon the what? Requirement of the examiner. So then you'll be able to analyze it appropriately. Then another one is what? Use of relevant data, identification of interrelationships, and generating new ideas and information. Now, I used to say, they can give you as much as 30 pages for that case scenario. 35 pages, 25 pages, it depends. But do you know, it's not everything that is relevant. So that is why you need to know how to select which one is relevant that I need to deal with. So that is why also, when the exam closed, I used to do pre-screen analysis for all my students, telling them when you see this type of data, this one is relevant based on the pre-screen release. So I will tell them this one is relevant, just go straight to this, go straight to this, go straight to this. So because you need to, when they give you a 30 pages within 4 hours, how will you deal with it? Even in a real life scenario, you can't finish it. So that is why you need to pick up immediately the relevant data, then identifications of interrelationship and generating new ideas. So you now relate it to each other. You relate it. So back to back with the information given to you to relate it back to what? To the financial statement of that particular company. Relate it to what is happening in the what? In the industry, in that particular industry. So then, so that you'll be able to what? Those guys get new idea and write what? Good report. Then another one is what? You develop of relevant and appropriate analysis using financial and non-financial data provided. You need to develop a relevant and appropriate analysis. So you need to know that any analysis, so when you are reading, you analyze. You analyze. The analysis, expand it. Analyze it. Okay, it comes like this. This should be like this. So analyze it. Then using the financial and non-financial data provided. So you are not only analyzing financial, you are also analyzing non-financial provided in that report. So you are analyzing both so that you'll be able to develop a relevant information. You'll be able to develop a relevant report, writing a good relevant report. So you analyze financial and non-financial. Then another thing is, most of what I'm saying, you will see it's going to be more clearer when we get to what the practical aspect of it. Well, I'm going to be all what I'm saying. I will show you how you are going to be dealing with, how you are getting those skills. Everything is there. We just want them to be picking it for them. So I'm going to show you everything in that practical aspect. So, but this is the theoretical aspect that we need to look at so that I can explain the basis of these things that we need to know before we go on and writing a good report. Then another one is application of professional skepticism and demonstration of ethical awareness and understanding. Application of professional skepticism. So you must apply your professional skepticism. Demonstrate any ethical awareness and understanding. So you must let them know that you know what you are doing. There are some professional skepticism that you are raising towards them. And professional skepticism could be, when you're talking about skepticism, professional skepticism could be as a matter of doubting what the information provided to you. You know, because in a real life scenario, when you are to audit a particular complaint, you will discover that they will supply you a lot of information. Even despite that, you will still meet one-on-one, asking questions about the information provided for you. But unfortunately, you are writing exam, no one to ask questions for. So that is why instead of you asking questions, interfacing with the examiner, so you will only be putting it in the writing as a what? Professional skepticism. So that is why there's a place, a structure. There's a place as a structure in your report that must have what? A professional skepticism. Because they can't give you 100% information perfect. No, they can't. They can't give you 100% information. So you need to raise what is your professional skepticism. Then you now also demonstrate what any ethical awareness you are seeing in that particular case given to you. So you let them know that, oh, you understand what you are saying. As a professional person, you need to have a stand. You have a stand, and your stand should be what you deal with things as what as a professional. You are dealing with the case study as what you are dealing with it as a business ethic. You are looking at meaning business ethics means that companies can make profit, but it should not be on some people's cost. So they should not make profit on people's cost. That means you are cheating people to make profit. That should not be. That's against what business ethics. So that's what that is talking about. Then applications of professional. Okay, I've done the application of professional skills and ethical awareness and understanding. Then the next one is what? Evaluation of outcomes of analysis and provisions of clear judgment based on your work. Evaluation of outcome analysis. All those analyses that you have done in your appendix, come and evaluate it, come and explain it, provide a clear judgment on it. Provide a clear judgment, show your opinions, recommend on those things that you have done in your appendix. That's what in your analysis. Then develop of clear conclusion, and statement of any reservation. Clear conclusion, statement of any reservation, you also need to bring it up. So make sure your conclusion is very clear. Then another one is ability to make recommendation based on your analysis. You should be able to make recommendation on your what? On your analysis. Some students usually have an issue to make recommendation. When they are making conclusion, they recommend everything together. So it should be separate, or there are marks attached to them separately. So it should be what? Separate. It should be separate. But you will see it when we get to the practical aspect of it. So ability to make recommendations based on analysis, Then after that, productions of well-structured, technical, and objective reports. So you need to a structured report. So I will also give you the structure that you must follow. So production of structured report, technical and objective reports, which will include an executive summary, appropriate appendices, using suitable language to communicate to your idea to your audience. Suitable language. So suitable language. So when I mean suitable language, when you're supposed to use formal, you don't use informal. So suitable language to communicate to your idea. These are the 12 skills that you need to work. Be aware and have more clear understanding of that particular skills. Now, quickly, let's move to all this definition of terms. In this definition of terms, I will explain some things for you that you need to understand. I'll be very, I mentioned one of it is that I mentioned issues. What are the issues? These are perimeters that are tested to help us arrive at a position concerning overall requirement. Requirement and issue are related. Is because they are an issue. That's why we have a requirement. Now, issues are very related to the requirement because the first thing is that the case study given to you, they are issued there. That is why examiner was able to give you requirement. If there is no issue there will not be requirement. For example, let me give you a particular example of an issue. When you are giving a case study of a particular phone industry, and they are now saying the phone caught fire, you begin to see that, due to one of the things that they are doing in the manufacturing processes, the phone caught fire. What are the issues there? Phone caught fire. There are issues. Phone caught fire. There are issues that they begin to now ask, how are they treating it? How did they attend to it? So then the decision of the manager could also be an issue when they don't take the right decision. So then examiner will now ask you, how will they treat that particular or particular issue? So that, you see now, from issue to requirement, because there is an issue, that is why there's a requirement. That's why examiner could test requirement. To ask you about the requirement. So there is always issue in the case study. So you will identify it. I'm going to show you what issue is, and you'll be able to address yourself. Unethical things, there are issues. Unethical things, there are issues. Bribery, there are issues. Creative accounting, there are issues. So you analyze it. Even when you see a lot of borrowing, there are also issues. A lot of payable, there are also issues. When you also see a lot of receivable, there are also issues. But the way it comes depends the way you treat it. Then another one is options. When there is an issue in the case study, then what are the options available for us to deal with it?